Alright guys, so today we're going to be doing some sort of experiment in Game Maker. I'm going to make a new project. I'm going to call it Text Levels, because that's what we're going to be doing. Or I'm going to be doing. I'm going to make some levels out of text. We're just going to be making some sprites, such as like solid. It's going to be 16 by 16. Basically what we're going to be doing is making levels on a grid. So yeah, we're just going to leave the origin as 0, 0 for the solid object, and we are going to have an air object that's also going to be 16 by 16, and is going to be black. Actually, I don't think we need that, to be honest. Yeah, I don't think we need that, but alright, so let's just make a room. We're going to call this room level. Alright, it's going to be... Alright, so we're going to be doing it 320 by 180, okay? Doesn't really matter how tall this last row is. So let's just do that, and 16 by 16. So that's going to be our level. And so let's make our generator object. So we are going to doing most of these things in the create event. So the first thing we're going to want to do is... Okay, so what we're going to be doing is essentially just making a for loop that'll go through each character in a string, and it's going to be placing objects in the room dependent on what character of the string it is and where we are in the for loop. How am I going to do that? I don't know what I'm doing. Let me look up some, like, string functions that I can get characters in the string. Alright, after 15 seconds of research, I realized that we're going to be using the function, string char act. Okay, so what this is going to do, we're going to give it a string, okay, and then we're going to give it the index, which is going to be I, right? So let's start that for loop. Not yet, actually. We're going to have to give it the string. So we're going to str, I don't know why I keep writing string, equals 1, right? 1 is going to be the index for our object we're going to be creating called solid. Alright, this is going to have the solid sprite. It's basically just going to exist in the room for now. So, for I for I equals 0, I is less than string length, string I plus plus. And that's just going to be the basic structure of our for loop. Alright, since I haven't thought this through, I just thought of a way for us actually to be able to put in the objects in the correct spaces in the room, based on the index of the object at position I, in the string. Basically what we're going to be doing is creating a nested for loop, where this is nested inside an x and y for loop. Let's create a variable to hold the grid space value so that we'll be able to place them at the correct x and y. So var tile size equals 16, because that's what we're doing. So we're gonna basically just nest. We're actually going to nest 2 for loops in here because we have to do y as well. We have to do y. So this is probably not the best way to do this, but I don't really feel like thinking of a different way. So we're going to be doing left to right, top to bottom in the string, okay? So we're actually going to be doing y first instead of x, so that it goes from top to bottom, but also left to right before it goes, you know, it doesn't matter. For var equals 0, y is less than room height, I guess mod tile size y plus plus. Whoops, wait, what? I did that right, okay. And then we're just going to be doing the same thing, but for XX. Alright, so we should have all the for loops in place. Now we just have to go through each character in the string. So that's this for loop. So let's create a local variable called var char, which is going to be string char at, we're going to put our string, and I, that's going to be our location, or the index, you know. And since we only have one, we can just do a switch statement for char, case 0. Okay, so we're going to have to make an object variable, so var obj. And I'm making these all instance variables, I mean local variables, because there's no reason to have them be instance variables. So we're just going to be no one, I guess. So we don't actually have to do anything there. So I guess, yeah, we don't actually have to do this. So let's just, God, I can't type. We're just going to make this case 1, which is going to be the solid object. Alright, you should add a default in case you accidentally type in a wrong number, so it just appears as error, which is what we're going to be doing. So then we are going to create our object. XX, YY, object. Actually, you can't create no one because that'll just create another generator. If obj is not equal to no one, then instance create the object. So we should be done. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of comments. So, I mean, you know, it doesn't really matter. I'll be back. Alright, I just realized there's something I forgot to do. We actually have to do XX times tile size, and YY times tile size. And the reason for that is because we're only getting 1 through 16, or something like that. 1 through whatever room height divided by tile size is. So we have to multiply it back by tile size so that it actually gets placed in the correct spot in the room. So we should be able to test this out, and it should just place one object in the top left corner. I didn't place the object. Yep, that always happens. So let's just place in the object. And we should see that there is one block. Oh, yeah, I forgot to disable all that. Hold on. I'll be back. Alright, so that sure did not work. Not sure why. But I'll investigate. Alright, so I've just realized that my idea of a nested for loop was not going to work. Because we're going through the entire string for every x and y value, which doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you do that? Alright, I've had the idea that we can have a variable called, like, index, or like, string index. We set that to equal to 0, and then we sort of do this, but instead of I, we can do this, and then after we do that, we can just add to the string index, and then if string index is less than string length string, then string index plus plus. So what that's going to do is it's going to take the string index and it's going to add to it as long as we're less than the actual size. So let me just make this 1, 1 so that we have 2. We should have 2 in the top left corner. And this is Alt-tabbed wrong. Okay, there we go. If you don't know, you can press Shift-Tab to make it go back. Alright, so let's test this out. And that didn't work either. Okay, wasn't expecting it to, because nothing ever works for me. Okay, I think I know why it's not working. Because those were not in apostrophes, because that's what a char is. So let's see. Alright, let's try quotation marks instead of apostrophes. Alright, so after a bit of testing, I think that actually there is a problem with the for loops, because I just created this, so I would see if it created, and it just didn't. So we can try to do that, and it doesn't create any objects. I'm not sure what's going on. Alright guys, I finally have something that, like, spawned something. It seems to be going the wrong way, but I did it. This is the code that I wrote. I changed it from X and Y to I and J, because that's what I usually do. And basically it's basically the exact same, except slightly different. So I'm doing the rows as string length. So we have this. So if we did 101, it would have sort of a, well, I mean, you can't do more than whatever. So if you see how that looks, oh, I was not expecting that. I guess it does that for every row or something like that. So if we did that, I have no idea how this is working. Alright, well, that clearly doesn't work how I intended it to. I'll be back. Alright guys, I got a single block to show up. Let's see what I wrote. Basically, I just changed string index to string max, set it to 1, and set this to be an array. So we have this. So that's going to be one row. And then basically this section interprets it. So that's going to determine the column. So this would be column 1. We can, if we copy this, we can make column 2, change it a little bit. And so there should be 2 rows now of blocks. But we'll see. It's probably not going to work. Alright, yep, that didn't work. But, I mean, we have 1 row. Oh, I know why it didn't work. Because we didn't change string max to 2. So if we do that now, there should be 2 rows. And just like that, we have 2 rows. So guys, I finally did it. I made a level, basically. So what you can do is, there's actually, I know for a fact that 320 divided by 16, it's 20. So let's go, we can have a maximum of 20. So that's 21s. So we can just do this, and we can make a box. Alright guys, so I just created this level, doing some quick math, realized that there are 11 columns, so this should just be a box of 20 characters, 20 by 11. And look at that, we have a box. We got this box, and we got this box here, and I added some platforms. It's pretty cool. Alright, so I just imported my character from a platform I've been working on, and the reason it was created like on this, like here on the block, is because the origin of the sprite is centered. So yeah, you could just sort of create platform levels out of this. Pretty cool. I might do that. I'm not gonna lie. I might make a platformer where you can like have a level editor and have it translate into a string like this. Alright, so I made the generator object a little bit more compact. Changed the generation into 2 separate scripts. So we have this, which takes in a level argument and spits out a string based, or 11 strings based on the level. So we'll put that in as 0, 1. So for level 1, that will be level 1, and generate just generates level. It's literally just the for loop. So yeah, this has been my video on generating levels from text. And I mean, thank you for watching, I guess.